What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Imrik Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we defeated Lamoro the Frozen Breath, the first of our dragon taming slash battles, and got a very nice buff for our trouble as well. We then went on to push towards Mount Gunbad and the Crooked Moon, and by the looks of it, they're down to a single settlement, though well defended, mind you, but a single settlement nonetheless, and before the might of Imrik and Menaethnir, I don't think it's going to hold. In addition to that, Erithron defeated the Vampire Coast, or the Dreadfleet, or Count Noctilus specifically, once again around Griffin Gate, and we should be able to hopefully take out the remnants of his little army, and then take Tor Anrock and its gold mine for ourselves. Plus, I suppose the control bonus from the Hall of Charioteers there would be nice for us, since we have public order problems pretty much constantly. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, we push towards Mount Gunbad, completing our action in the northern portion of the Darklands, and starting to move towards Kugath and those Dragon Isles. Once again, they have our name on it, and we definitely have to have them. By the looks of it, Clan Moors is now embroiled in a war against Karazakarak, so we'd be perfectly happy, I think, to let them duke it out and deal with them once we've shored up this particular location. Anyway, let's see what we got to do in this particular turn. Phaedian, I think, let me just double check here. Yeah, you can't actually reach Mount Gunbad, so you won't be able to reinforce, so Imrik will be without healing there. Bel Herathoi, you continue to head towards the eastern colonies. And just so that we can hopefully get that additional trading partner. Now, will this... So the Eastern Isles is neutral territory. I was wondering if it was owned by these guys. Oh, no, Torellosaur encountered. Good. Let's see if we can make friends with them immediately. Oh, they don't like us all that much. Ruler's Prejudice -3. That sounds so bad. And strategic... Alright, well, we won't be able to do too much about that, but at least we've found them, and that's the important thing. Yeah, they're really not likely to confederate. No! We found Negrith as well, I didn't even notice. Whoops. Well, you know what, not noticing the Shadow King seems kind of appropriate. Anyway, Bel Herathoi, though you are not super costly since you have the wax-sealed rations, you nonetheless need to get off the field, as you no longer serve a purpose here. At least I don't believe there's anybody else we need you to find at the current time. All the other elves have been found, including whatever this nonsense is with Teclis, so yeah. Let's save on that cash a teensy bit, putting us back to nearly 1,000 predicted income. And I think that's all that we gotta do in this particular turn in terms of moves, so let's get our points assigned, and let's head on into the fight at Mount Gunbad. Hard to hit for you, Noble. And Imrik, I think you're in the same, yeah. You also get hard to hit, just trying to get to that Lord of Dragons and the very nice hex that the enemy has there. -40 melee attack for 30 seconds. Certainly allow you to be a monster in duels. And you are going to go into Noble Prestige, we're going to head into Mount Gunbad. Normally I might wait a couple turns for Skarsnik to come back, but as I said last episode, there's a decent likelihood that he died last turn here at the High Place, which means we're not going to wait 4 more turns. Imrik is busy, and he's got to use those turns to travel. Anyway, let's see what we got at the defenses of Gunbad. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trolls this time around, though not nearly as many artillery pieces. The enemy does have a lot of those archers, and we no longer have that fiery convocation available, as we've transferred it to the army. I guess we could transfer it back and forth. I kind of don't want to do that too much, though. Honestly, I think we can do without. I did get kind of used to having it on Michaela, but oh well. Anyway, I believe we're good to go, so let's go.
Knights of my great house, Ulthuan needs us now more than ever, for we are the absolute of its warriors. It is time for Caledor to rise once again.
Alrighty, here we go again. Mount Gunbad, a pretty important fight, I would say, as the Crooked Moon would likely be a threat to our territories for as long as it existed. Plus, with Mr. Ungrim to the north and Karasakarak to the south, we would be good to wipe them out and prevent them from annoying those guys, or at the very least Ungrim. It does seem to be the idea of eventually attacking Karasakarak seems quite popular, according to the comments, so there's certainly potential for that. We could betray Thorgrim for, you know, that whole there'll be no alliance with elves thing, and and just keep Ungrim alive. Maybe a little bit more to be said in between Imrik and the Slayer King, after all. Anyway, here we go. Starting on Mount Gunbad, gonna get those dragon breaths up, and Nathan, you're gonna bring down a few trolls with that Star Dragon Breath as the high value enemy targets. Unfortunately, directly bring down a few models. If the breath had only damaged them rather than actually destroy a few of the trolls, they would have just regenerated afterwards. But fortunately, it worked out reasonably well. In the meantime, Imrik will drop down. He'll activate his bound dragon pack to drop a few of the enemy archers, but mostly to knock down the barricade preemptively, so we don't have to deal with it, while he prevents that artillery piece from doing any damage to our infantry, which are at the current time climbing those walls. Once again, another nice thing about the High Elven Rangers is because of their speed and because of the fact that we keep stacking speed on our army, they're able to reach those walls quite quick. They're fragile and so take quite a bit of damage, but nonetheless, there's certainly a use for it. Our Sun Dragon is quickly destroying the enemy tower, which has about 1 or 2 more hits in it, and most of our range units have arrived to fire over the enemy walls. The aspect that makes them superior, I guess, to gun lines. Not that I'm saying that the archers are superior to guns at all, don't get me wrong, but in this particular instance, it's quite nice to have. And there we go. We've certainly softened up the targets inside. The Dragon Princes have broken through the gate as well and are going to stream into the city. The Dragonborn, or Fireborn rather, as well as the regular Dragon Princes, led now by the Noble and Michaela in there as well, to keep everybody buffed and to drop the occasional cascading fire cloak or blazing sword, flaming sword of Ruin to buff everybody up like now. It is a plus 42 weapon damage after all, and on top of that we can combine that with Imrik's Dragon Horn, which buffs everybody's melee attack up further, so our highly increased melee damage is more likely to hit. Imrik in the meantime is damn, the frickin' Black Orc Big Boss looks just absolutely gigantic, troll size there, trying to hold off Imrik, bravely mind you, among those little piles of gobos. That said, this is a pretty bad matchup. Imrik will clear the gobos out with his bound dragon pack and has nearly killed off the Black Orc Big Boss, while he himself has suffered maybe 10% damage, which we can easily heal up should we need to. Alright, and I do imagine that Black Orc Big Boss will be getting out of there soon. I do like the contrast here, though, between the tiny, poorly armored gobos against the massive armor and size on the Black Orc Big Boss. Though less size won't do too much for you, as you will go down. What the heck? Huh. It missed his death animation. That was weird. I guess he got trampled to death. I'm not entirely sure why that was the case. Anyway, out here there is a River Troll Hag. We saw those repeated uses of the Spirit Leech upon us, and she's now surrounded by the Dragon Princes plus a Fire Dragon with them as well. And we'll be going down and... her death animation is broken too. What the heck? I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with being killed by a dragon. I gotta pay attention to that. The other units seem to be getting their animations just fine. Or maybe it's something up with the game today. Hopefully it wasn't something the patch did, the hotfix, whatever we recently got. Alright, well, it looks like some trolls are going to attempt to hold off the Dragon Princes this time, but it's not a great... Oh, wow! I did not expect the Dragon Princes to have enough mass to send a troll flying like that. That's pretty impressive. And of course, Michaela is with him as well. I do like the fact that this sort of blob of units is very color coordinated. The Fireborn and the Dragon Princess and Michaela, all the red on all those chariots, plus even the Fire Dragon as well. I like my color coordinated armies, and I've always found it a shame that the game didn't offer you more customization options in terms of well, painting your armies, as it were. Or, as I've said before, using the sort of getup that the slash armors that some of the Regiments of Renown have. I really feel like some of the Regiments of Renown looks could have been used better as a sort of, almost like an upgrade system, where if your unit gains elite enough status, it could be up-armored, etc. Just the look, it doesn't necessarily need to be a change in stats to the same effectiveness as a Regiment of Renown. But, like, for example, I don't know, playing the Kislevites recently, the Watchmen and the... Well, no, the Watchmen and the Knight have a unique weapon, but you know what? Their look can be used on armored Khazars in general. I was thinking of the Boydanov's Brawlers, Streltsy, and this campaign, the Mathlands, Scions of Mathland Spears, and just generally speaking. Could do lots of themes like that if you could use the sort of looks of the Regiments of Renown by choice, or when, like, make it an option when your units hit like rank 9 and are old enough or have racked up enough XP or kills or whatever. The system, the numbers don't really matter so much as the idea, but that's just me. It's just surprising to see a Warhammer game generally that doesn't offer you any kind of customization in that regard, as it's sort of common in this type of game. Anyway, looks like the battle is nearly ours. Balance power at about 90%. Imrik has found himself another hero, Goblin, and Big Boss this time, who of course stands no chance against him. And Menaethnir out here, our other little cohort of units led by the Noble, is running over pretty much everything that they meet. And our infantry are now streaming into the city as well, with a little bit of support from the range units, though they are quickly running out of ammunition, except for you. For some reason, the Talons of Torquelada, our best unit... Oh, maybe they have more ammunition, generally speaking, than other units? I'm not sure. Maybe they were poorly positioned. Hard to say. Not that it'll matter over much here, as Menaethnir will pounce on through those piles of gobos again. I do believe he sent that Goblin Big Boss a-running, getting a few arrows raining down upon the limited number of Goblin archers remaining here as well. Who can do nothing about it. The AI does have a tendency to... Ah, there we go. I gotta run away from that collapsing platform because they have shattered, and with that, Mount Gunbad has fallen. I really would have liked to have seen what the defeat trait on Skarsnik is, but yeah, we weren't waiting for many turns here. We've got things to do. It's the early game, and that's the time when you need to be aggressive. Alright, very nice fight. I think one really nice thing about Imrik being on Menaethnir now is that he's essentially self-sufficient, so we don't have to necessarily keep him with the Sun Dragon and with the Dragon Princes and the Noble, etc., etc. They can act as their own elite force, and then Imrik can just obliterate whatever he targets by himself. And of course there's the sort of third portion of the army composed of all of the infantry while they're in this army. Anyway, close victory for us, mostly due to we completely ran out of ammunition, but that was pretty much the only issue. A little bit of damage on Michaela, but I got a little bit cocky with her, and that meant that she took damage that we couldn't heal up because we didn't have Phaedian to do so. Either way, we're going to occupy the place. We are here for that gold mine, and of course we don't keep the gold mine, though I'm not actually sure that the enemy had the gold mine there. We don't need the rally field here, as it's a waste of our time. And I mean, we'll still build up the gold mine, though I guess one of the unfortunate aspects of this place is build some plazas, I guess. Maybe even growth. The problem is, until we can get the high place from these guys, it's not going to be too useful. For Folarath's robe. Weapon strength minus 50%, physical resistance 50%. This is from a mage and for a mage. Could potentially be very useful. Probably not on Michaela, as with her and her chariot she's been doing a lot of fighting, but somebody else could certainly make good use of that, I think. Oh, and since we, well, temporarily, took her... Well, you know what, let's give her the Book of the Phoenix then for now. I was about to say, ooh, also we don't need the Scroll of Lycos or the Scroll of Amber, so let's fuse those into an Obsidian Amulet. It's something. Nothing super useful, but we'll take it, I guess. At least it's nothing super useful for us for now. Later on, when we have more mages that will be likely to hurt themselves overcasting, it'll be a little bit of a better, item. Anyway, Imrik, you're going to go for Blade Master now. Stats are very much rising. See if we can't get that weapon strength up to 1,000 pre-buffs, and we certainly can by the looks of it, easily. Colossal Strike gives you a massive bonus versus Arch. Yeah, everything will power up Imrik and make it even easier for him to duel and defeat the special dragons. Get Scouting on Michaela because we want more magic items, go figure. And having reached rank 10 on the Noble, we could take one of the affairs types of things. A little bit of relations with High Elves, with Bretonnia, Southern Realms, Norska, and Empire humans, basically, and with lizards, potentially. This gives us industry building buffs, this gives us port buffs, and this gives us entertainment buffs. That's all great, and we will do that, but first we'll get replenished troops maxed out, and then we'll think about all that afterwards. Alright, just taking a look at what else we have here. Growth plus 10, local province, use not super useful in Imrik's army, but who knows. Construction costs for buildings, local province, and more vigor loss reduction. Damn, that's a lot of weapon strength increase. So when they make these guys, ooh, income from post-battle loot plus 10%. That's good for Imrik. Stack that even more. Yeah, I think for Imrik in particular, that's probably what we'll get, because he'll probably have the biggest battles out of all the lords, and thus should be racking up as much money as he possibly can. Fayadin, I guess you can... I mean, leave the place and then go into a Noble Prestige... No, into Lilith's Blessing, while you wait for Imrik to come on down, and then the two of you together will proceed southward to Kugath. Gonna be a few turns while we travel, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, as we'll be able to build up our empire a little bit while we do. And maybe Arathon will still get to play. Speaking of Arathon, you've got a couple points. Let's get you another point in Bowmaster, and let's get your Noble... No more replenished troops, so I guess you can get hard to hit as well. You have your steed yet? I take it you do not, no. On the rank 7, okay, it'll be a little bit, but you're really needed here for the healing, so... And that's why you're here, and that's why you will remain. We're not gonna bother invoking anything, because we are saving up money for that Graves of the Dragons thing, and the requisite, the additional Dragon Prince that offers. Speaking of Dragon Princes, let's name these two at the least, because we know we're keeping them in this army. The Dragon Princes can be the Scales of War. And the Sun Dragon, how about... Oh my lord. Sorry, I was just looking through the list. You guys... Okay, there's a lot of dragon names. Okay, so I can't do all of them. Solaire for now. Makes sense for a Sun Dragon. Yeah, so that'll be a little bit, guys. We've got a lot of dragon names and a lot of dragons to give them to, not to worry. And many a dragon will be recruited, but it's, well, it's SFO, so the growth is a little bit slower than vanilla, so, yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, I believe that's all we gotta do for this turn, since we did diplomacy and building last episode, so we can end the turn and proceed southward. Let's see if anybody declares war on us. Also, while the turn is ending, as you may have guessed, this is a double episode Wednesday, as we did reach the engagement threshold and maintained the engagement threshold streak. So if you missed the first episode today, there were 2 episodes posted, and just in case. And of course, having reached the 5th episode, we lower the engagement threshold now, so from now on, 400 likes and 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. And of course, if we maintain the streak until Saturday, we'll do 2 episodes on Saturday as well. Anyway, let's get you, Imrik, moving down to... You know what? I guess you can move directly into World's Edge Archway. World's Edge Archway. World's Edge Archway. World's Arch Edgeway. Whatever. Yeah, so we can save like 300 gold a turn by having you in the settlement. Like so. Alright, and you know what? Technically, Imrik travels faster than Phaedian does, so we can move her out a little bit ahead of Imrik. He should also start channeling. Do we still have those? We have the dangerous winds. Oh no, in 3 turns we're gonna get a massive debuff. I'm not looking forward to it. You know what? Don't bother collecting income here. Let's just get the colonnade / plaza. And let the place grow as it can. Actually, speaking of growing and stuff, what do we have in terms of buildings? So here we were going to upgrade Mount Silver Spear, and we'll do so immediately, but that's the only thing we can do. So let's switch briefly to Tribute to the Phoenix King. You... I'm gonna be growing for 2 more turns, and then there's nothing to build there. What about Tower of Gorgoth? Okay, you're gonna be upgraded next turn, so I guess we can just upgrade the colonnade here. Public order is actually looking decent now. You know what? It's only -2. It'll eventually pop us into insecure. But it'll be fine. We can just build another colonnade here because we really need to collect income in places otherwise. The growth is a problem. You will be switching in 2 turns to be able to upgrade the Graves of the Dragons. And I believe that's all the building that we gotta do. Unless I'm mistaken. Griffin Gate is fine, we're not gonna do anything about that. Torso Thigh / Val's Anvil, still not gonna do anything about you either. Deadrock Gap, what are you again? Oh, that's the new place, Mount Gunbad and stuff. How much do you want for the high place, incidentally? Just out of curiosity. 37, okay, that's not gonna happen until we can trade you some, of the territories that the Skaven probably currently hold. Next, we want to take Tor Anrog, so you can switch into, you know what? Just going to regular stance. I want to be able to reach Tor Anrog in 1 turn. I'm not entirely sure that we can, but we're stuck here either way. Attack this guy. And I think we can't chase. We'll leave the gate to deal with this if these guys try to make their way back through. I'd rather attack Tor Anrog. Are you able to reach Noble Prestige? Actually, you are. Good for you. Tor Anrog it is. We could spend another turn healing up here, but I think it's more important to take this. Funnily enough, we would have been able to take it at the next tier. But you know what? We have to spend a turn waiting to build stuff since we don't have a dragon here and no siege attackers, so it is what it is. Alright, that's fine. No big deal, and I do believe that's another end turn, unless we've got Diplo to take care of yet again. Check it, Goldtooth. Getting, well, let's not say quite friendlier. Nearly there to that trade agreement. I can't say I'm hyper invested into making friends with Goldtooth, but you know, at least somewhat. Okay, Thorak, relax. We haven't actually killed any of your guys as of yet. Yeah, you know, I'd love the money, but I don't want to piss these guys all off for piecing out with him. How does Kemray feel about Thorak? They don't seem to care about each other, really. Hopefully these two don't get into it. I mean, the desert and the jungles aren't really places that we want to take anyway, so we don't really care about them. Plus, I'd love to get Lizardmen allies, so yeah. Anyway, unassigned skill points, building upgrades, outposts available. You know what? We have enough money to finally build our outpost at Karak-Kadrin, so we'll do that. Where is Kadrin? Here it is. Of course, Karak-Kadrin is in danger of falling to the dead, but on the other hand, plus, we do get the influence bonus from it. 2,000 gold for 2 influence per turn isn't too bad, but yeah, this will maybe hopefully help defend Karak-Kadrin against the undead. We could even build another outpost in Lothern just for the extra influence per turn, and I think once we built the Graves of the Dragons, we have a little bit more cash to our name, then we'll probably do that. For now, we're okay. End turn. Settlement besieged Tor Anrog. Yes, that's us. Thank you, game. I think we know. Alright, no war declarations from any of the factions that we were concerned about. It looks like we're good. Lovely. Alright, Clan Eshin destroyed. Huh. haven't seen that happen in ages. Who the heck destroyed Clan Eshin? I thought that the Cathians were having a tough time against some factions, but Clan Eshin is usually allied to the enemies of the Cathians. Interesting. Wonder what's going on in Cathay. If we get their alliance going, we'll find out eventually. Let us travel. What's the fastest way to reach Kugas territory? Frankly, it's probably better to start at Dragonfang Mountain and move like this. So we should probably set sail, like, out here. You're suggesting that this is the fastest way? Because then you'd have to travel down here. Alright, fine. Go this way then. And Feodin, you can keep doing the same, please. Alright, next up, buildings. Next, you can switch to Rebuild Lost Splendor, as we'll be needing to build those Purified Graves of Dragons. Then Black Fortress, nothing to build here, but you can switch to Rebuild Lost Splendor as well, as you'll have the Sentinels be upgradable next turn. You're good for 3 turns. You are going to get another Plaza/Colonnade, and then another Manor. Just gotta keep building these up. And I guess one more turn of Rebuild Lost Splendor to buff up that Colonnade to the next tier. Wish they weren't so expensive, but we really need the public order. And I guess the very slight amount of cash that they do generate. Ooh. Huh. That's concerning. Have these guys' armies been destroyed, I wonder? I'm just wondering whether we could take White Peak for ourselves with that marble. Have these guys' armies been destroyed? No, I think their army is still alive. There's a rune here. So here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about Morathi declaring war on us and attacking Tor Ranrock immediately after we take it. What's the likelihood of this happening? She's at war with Tyrion right now, and not at war with us. Who else is she at war with, just out of curiosity? She's at war with Tyrannoch and Eotain. We could risk it. It's a lot of Dark Shards, and we wouldn't be able to knock Morathi out with this army. The thing is, if we're in siege, we're safe. 2 stacks. It's a little bit iffy. It is a little bit iffy. I think we stay in siege. I think it's the safer thing to do, even if we then don't manage to take White Peak, because it's either taken by these guys or by these guys. At least this way we don't lose Erathon's army, so you can wait another turn, sir. No big deal. At least, hopefully. Diplomacy is next. Let's double check, yeah? I think I already checked it, but, you know. Get used to it. And I believe we're good to go. So skip, and turn. Gotta keep moving. Hopefully we can start fighting Kugath this episode, and even if we can't, we should be able to get another dragon battle on the way. Oh, Morathi's moved away towards Tyrion, which means we should be able to take this Dreadfleet territory for ourselves. And hopefully peace out with them. We'll also need to probably move down here before Noctilus arrives with a full stack again, as he'll probably go for this place. We'll also yeah, there we go. And they've oh, I guess we wouldn't have been able to take this back anyway. Well, not back, but you know what I mean. Supervisor, right expires. Ooh, yes, Invocation of Asuryan. Assuming that we can afford it, we will pop it. And whether we can afford it remains to be seen. 3 turns here. Bone Gulch, Purified Graves of Dragons. I guess we'll want to upgrade the Elven Fairground here. And we need our first Elven Embassy. Like so. None of these will get upgraded any further, so you can briefly switch back to Tribute to the Phoenix King. I was going to get the Sentinels upgraded for 2.5k. This will give us the much-needed control, though. Oh. You know what? This has construction time reduction. Okay, wait. Undo this. Pop the Invocation of Asuryan. Plus its influence. Right now, and presumably if we ignore this, we can still build these up at 1 turn. Lovely, and that'll make the money back really quick, because, well, it makes money. And Elven Embassy as well. No, not the gardens, but the embassy. And we gotta stack embassies in pretty much everywhere here. Alright, should be getting a decent bit of cash out of all of that. And you can switch, and in fact you are switching. Alright, and that's pretty much all of our cash. Imrik, continue southward. Feodin, go to Black Fortress. How are we doing? Kugas still hasn't lost his territories. Lovely, lovely territories. Gonna make real good use of those. As long as Clan Moors doesn't declare war on us immediately. You're gonna auto-resolve to Ranrock since we're safe from Marathi. And basically no damage, but they basically had no defenders anyway. Occupy. Nice. It has a port we can... I guess we can collect the income, because this army is here.
How can I assist?
But the growth is going to be so slow if we collect the income, it's going to be too long until we... Yeah, no. We need to build the defenses here, otherwise the place, well, won't be able to defend itself. And so, we'll just have to let it grow by cancelling the money. Bow Master for you to buff up your units a little bit more, and replenish troops to, well, buff up your replenishment a little bit more. I assume Tyrion and Alistair are gonna die to Marathi here, because it's 2 stacks versus a stack and a half. Ooh. Wait. If that happens, and Marathi gets heavily damaged, and takes the Sword of Cain, this would be potential for Erathon to take the Sword of Cain, and then revive himself near Imrik to transfer it to Imrik. I guess the only unfortunate aspect of this is that the Starlance and the Armor of Caledor together give us that bonus. Melee defense +2 for all armies faction-wide and control. On the other hand, it would make Erathon's army really strong. I'm not sure. Anyway, skip, and turn. Alright, Gold Tooth's still looking good. These guys still hold Flayed Rock. We don't really care about Flayed Rock so much, but we definitely do care about what Kugat's got going on.
You will pay for your follies.
And Count Noctilus. Oh, do you want to peace out now? Yeah, you do. 300. That's not much. It's not much, but I think we're going to do it anyway because it will mean we don't necessarily have to move down here to Volzanvil and Torsathai for at least 3 turns. Yeah, some of the other elves aren't going to be happy about this, but... it's just safer. We'll inevitably redeclare war on him. It's just that we can't take Galleon's Graveyard until we have a stronger army, and we can't have a stronger army until we have a stronger economy. Which is why we're going to those Dragon Isles. Alright, recruit rank for spears, and we can get the trade advancements now, plus all of this stuff, but we need the money to be able to do so. Well, hopefully the dragon fight will give us said such money. You too. Keep on moving, we're gonna... oh.
Magic's unleashed.
Okay, just waiting for Imrik to land, and you go right here.
Carried by magic.
And then we'll be heading out to sea next turn. Alright, for now, let's get Horse Masters or Point Sea Masters, it doesn't really matter which. And keep an eye out on what's going on our borders. With the dwarfs watching them, we should be okay. I'm actually surprised that the AI can declare war on the Servants of the Conclave. It's kind of dumb, though, because you're going to lose armies, and you really should keep those for fighting Grimgor and Astrogoth instead of whatever the heck that is. Anyway, Erathon. And you ran away from Marathi, eh? I mean, not surprising, because you would have lost the army. Damn. It would have been nice if it hadn't worked out that way, but oh well. I'm tempted to attempt to take Arnheim. We could even sell it to Marathi, probably for quite a lot of cash. And we could also probably repeatedly sack her territories with this army. It's just that once we declare war on her, these armies will come after us, and as long as they're sticking together, it's gonna be an issue. I think we have no choice but to keep Erathon where he is for now. I wanted to send him out to sea again, but Marathi is kind of a danger. We'll wait for the opportune moment to strike, as we did against Noctilus. Plus, this allows us to advance a little bit. Skip. Minus the buildings, which shouldn't be skipped. Gunbad. The income here. That's not horrible. With the Invocation of Assyrian up, you can actually collect income for us, get us a little bit more growth. 2,000 gold for that gold mine upgrade, though. It's a little bit steep, admittedly. And maybe not a priority right now. Colonnade, you're also quite expensive. Howling Wastes, I think we have to prioritize the Sentinels because of the 3rd tier marble building. And this will only take 2 turns. But I guess for those 2 turns, you can still go for either growth or tribute to the Phoenix King. Keep that growth coming. There's a lot of sort of stance dancing going on, or commandment dancing going on in this particular campaign, but it is of necessity. You switch to rebuild Lost Splendor, and the rest, I believe, are fine. Oh, actually, you. Well, you can upgrade that colonnade, but your public order is fine right now, so I think we're better off either growing or, yeah, just growing effectively. Alright, I think that's all the switches we need right now. Well, actually, we could get you growing as well. Your public order is fine. Alright, fine. Banish corruption as well. Screw all the corruption, and turn. 2 turns. We'll be out at sea when the dragon thing appears, which will be a little bit of a shame. Perhaps we should have taken another route, but we still gotta land on Kugath's territories. Karekadrin wants us to join war against the servants of the Conclave. I don't see us doing that, at least I don't see any point in doing so right now. Also, we've encountered Zatan, which is kind of interesting. Where did we encounter him? He's been in a fight with Grimgor for a while.
Know this. I will not.
That's not great. Damn. I knew I should have destroyed that army, but, I think they had an army out here somewhere. They're probably gonna attack one of these territories. Well, I guess we'll have to move back up. Yeah, always regret not destroying the Beastmen. Etain and Karakujin, do we ask them to join war against these guys? I mean, I guess we could. Hopefully they don't say no. Find out. Etain might. They're good. Alright, now... Well, the Beastmen didn't appear. Do we have raiding in any of our territories? No. Well, then where the heck are they? Ooh, campaign movement range. Herald of Mathland. That's great, but that's going to not you. That is definitely going to Imrik.
Limitless talent.
Where were we? Herald of Mathland. A minstrel, we don't need it. Oh, man. Okay, wait. Can we see that faction on the map? Where are they? Yeah, they do still have their stack. They were previously raiding this territory, so they could still be hidden in, hidden up here. We don't really have an army to deal with them. Teclis, still alive, and has 2 territories now. Still unwilling to be friends, though. Ice Court, nearly ready to trade. Goldtooth, nowhere near as likely to trade as he was before. Minus 15 now, eh? Bit of a shame. What do we have in terms of defenses at the gates of Jar? That's a place most likely to get attacked. I think without like a half stack, we wouldn't be able to take that army on anyway. I'm not 100% sure. I think it had some, Cygors in it, maybe? Guess we'll see. Either way, we gotta start on Kugath. And, ooh, hello, free island. We'll hit that first and then head down to the Dragon Isles. Plagues are also going to be annoying. Oh, speed reduction. Well, another good reason for our speed to, well, have existed. You know what, I think we're going to move Phaedon up here.
Bring me my tome.
She has spells, and if we give her just a couple of units, she could probably defend against the Beastmen wherever it is and that they are. Though hopefully they'll be diverted to the dwarfs. Though granted, anti-player bias will probably mean that they aren't. Rebuild Lost Splendor for you. Let's do building stance dancing again. Sculptor's Workshop, please. Definitely will want the upgrade. And... I mean, I guess build the estate. It'll give us construction cost reduction. Further construction cost reduction. And here... we either build the Artisan for more construction, another Elven Embassy, which will give us income from buildings from all adjacent provinces. Only 5%, mind you. And the control will start dropping it. I think we're going to need another colonnade here, damn it. Not much of a choice. Alright, fine. Colonnade. And I guess we'll upgrade that colonnade next turn. Which means we can't build anything there or change the stance. You're good as you are. You are switching right now. You're good as you are. And then lastly, you are, well, good as you are. The Mount Gunbad place we're not going to bother investing in right now. And how's the growth? Still pretty horrendous here. Granted, we don't have any growth buildings. But it's either lose control or lose growth, so... not much we can do about that one either. At least not right now. Arathon, continue staying where you are, sir. Probably pointless for you to channel. And I guess we're good to go to end the turn. And the next dragon encounter, hopefully it'll pop up like here somewhere really close. Let's find out. Alright, Cult of Pleasure, where are those beastmen? Will they move into our territory? It's only a matter of time. We do have a few spare regiments of renown we can get on the field should we need to do so. You still want that peace treaty? It's only willing to offer us 2.7k, eh? I mean, we could peace out with them. You know what? Take the money. We could peace out with them for a few turns, and then, or 10 turns, and redeclare war on them. It'll make the lizards and the other guys happy, and oh, look at that! The Order of Loremasters have retaken Dawn's Landing. It's good that they have 2 settlements. If they just manage to lose... Oh wow, I didn't know that these, that the dragon encounters could be at sea. Well, that's nice. Ah, there's the rating. There it is. They're going to the Gates of Jar. And by the looks of it, Phaeton will just be too short. I should have moved her further. What do you have in your stack? 2 Cygors, Minotaurs? Quite the issue. What do we have in terms of available regiments of renown? Well, you have a fair few, plus Lamoureux the Frozen Breath, who I'm sure would be able to knock out those Cygors. It would, however, cost basically all of our money if we did that. I mean, we probably will get some money out of the dragon encounter, though. Oh, wait, are we actually able to teleport to the actual dragon encounter from the sea? I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. Anyway, move to the dragon encounter for now. We'll figure this out. This is a different herald, yes? Yes. Just out of curiosity, Gordinar's Fury gives us flaming attacks, fire resistance, and more speed. Yes, please. And the same influence thing that we had before. After inadvertently wandering into a nearby sandstorm, you encounter an Ushabti, a giant animated statue carved into the likeness of a strange god of long-forgotten desert peoples. It is an understandably intimidating sight, but as you reach for your weapon, it tells you, in a booming, otherworldly voice, that it means you no harm. The stone-carved being tells you that it is the Herald of Gordinar, a legendary sun dragon of great power. Known to surround itself with undead desert stragglers it controls and other mystical creatures of the world's desert realms. Such a powerful dragon is worth reaching out to, but what message would you have the Herald send back to its Dragon Master challenge? Alright. Sunshard, passive ability Rage, immunity to desert attrition, Imrik gains trait Shining Light. Lovely. Whatever the enemy force is like, oh damn. 2 Arcane Phoenixes, 2 Flame Phoenixes, Cambrian War Sphinx, Higher Titan. The problem with these guys is their fire resistance. Should be a pretty tough fight. Yeah, I am curious though. Okay, first of all, grab the Mysterious Island real quick. Fortified Grog, Mathland's Blessing, more physical resistance. We're up to 40% in Imrik's army, and because of Lamoureux's blood. We do have a bit of cash from that now. And I also wanted to check. I do notice Lillian is by herself. Morathi is still nearby and in march stance. Here's the issue. If we attack Lillian, we'd be basically at the edge of our range, right? Now, assuming we can switch from this. Oh, maybe not quite. Might be able to destroy them here.
I am Morathi.
Morathi would probably lose against Tyrion and Alistar. This might be an opportunity for us. I mean, the thing is, they're going to declare war on us. There's no doubt about it. They're strength rank 2. Damn. Yeah, whatever SFO did to the Slaneshi, it's making them quite nice. What the heck? Wait. What? How is Torellosaur here? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. How is this? Huh? How are they here? Okay, somebody needs to explain this to me. I don't understand how they could possibly be here. They weren't here before. I don't think a rebellion of them could... Huh? This was a ruin before. I genuinely have no clue. Because a rebellion might have revived them, but they're not dead, so it wouldn't be them rebelling, would it? Well, either way, it's interesting. Anyway, who's at war with Morathi? Well, we're busy. Avalorn, are we trading with you? We are. Or are we not trading with? Tyrannok we are trading with, and Eataine we are trading with. Okay, so which of them then is the richer? Eataine is strength rank 4. Let's see, how much would you offer us to war against the Cult of Pleasure? 5, not that much, and not that much gold. What about Avalorn?
What matters do you wish to lay before the Everqueen?
1400? What about Tyrannok, or whoever it was? Ah, damn it. A little bit of diplomacy to do. Tyrannok, was it? Join war against the Cult of Pleasure. 875 now. Okay, it looks like it was Eataine indeed.
What brings you here?
Frankly, I was expecting more from all of them. What can you do? Let's do it. Alright, temporarily, mind you. And while we're in the Diplo screen, double check anything interesting here. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well then. Wellity, wellity. We also have a decent amount of influence to use either on heroes or on the court. Let's attack Lillian and see what we got. Will you fight or will you run? You will fight. Lovely. And that's a lot of Dark Shards, but if they sort of blob up for Arcane's Ring of Fury, we should be able to take good advantage of it. Plus, the enemy does not have a Black Arc nearby. The unfortunate thing is that they do have the Flock of Doom and a lot of mana to use it with, so they're gonna be spamming the heck out of that one. Go. Alright, here we go, another fight for Arathond, our strong-willed prince. I've certainly floated the idea of deleting his army, and there have been suggestions to do so in the comments as well, just because it's costing us about 3,000 gold per turn, and, well, our money woes don't really allow that kind of expenditure in the early game. That said, as you guys I'm sure know by now, I do love my variety, both in the sort of armies as well as the enemies faced, and since Imrik is too far away to fight the Dark Elves in the Vampire Coast, Arathond is scratching that itch. Anyway, that's certainly a reason to try to keep him alive and attempt to make use of his army until the economy is fixed. We start the battle off with moving Arathond forward just to get that Bow of the Seafarer activation on and doing a little bit of damage to that Supreme Sorceress of Beasts. I'm not entirely 100% sure what this type of weapon is for. It does say strong versus a single unit. But whether it's for a single entity or whether it's better against like weaker units like infantry or like a bigger unit like giants, we'll see. We'll just test it out, see how effective it is against various things. Anyway, looks like the enemy master is going to eat some arrows here as he stands still. Not actually a particularly big threat to him because he has a gold shield and thus blocks 70% of HP and 123 armor against the non-heavy arrowhead units. We are moving, or the enemy is moving in some demon nets. We're going to slow them down a little bit with the activation of the Wind Blast as well at the same time. The enemy has lined up pretty nicely for us all the way back here with all those threatening Dark Shards and this Fiery Convocation item, which has been doing so much. We'll move right through them. Oh, what a nasty spell. There we go. 3 of the units of Dark Shards pretty much instantly destroyed a bloody path through the Dark Elven ranks, and while there are a few left here, that's a big blow to the enemy. In addition to that, both of the enemy demon nets have melted away, and now we only have the spears and the Dark Shards really to contend with. Speaking of the Dark Shards, our Eagles will land in the forest and distract, by the looks of it, 3 units of Dark Shards, activating Bleed on them, and of course Dark Shards being atrocious in melee means that, well, the Eagles aren't threatened by anything here, as long as the enemy doesn't move in spears. And while said Dark Shards are not firing, and while they're being distracted by Eagle, Claw, and Beak, the spears will make their way forward as well, to prevent them from doing anything else. Same thing going on the rightmost flank as on the left flank as more Eagles touch down. A few units of spears were there to protect this pile of Dark Shards, but we've got our own spearmen ready to take them on. Or at the very least distract them while the Eagles destroy all of their range units. And by the looks of it, because of the significant reduction in enemy range units, we are winning the ranged shootout as well, which, because of the shields on the Dark Shards and the armor piercing there, might not have been the case if we didn't kill them. Anyway, Arathon seems to have defeated the enemy master and is trying to chase him down to get that killing below, while we take care of the rest of the enemy army. And it looks like the battle will be shortly ours. It's a little bit unfortunate that Arathon has the strong-willed trait. It's just 10% spell resistance, which isn't really much. I think what I might do is later recruit a new prince with like a strong buff. Maybe if there was an eagle buff, that would be ideal. But recruit one with a strong buff and just rename said lord to Arathon, so that we could sort of upgrade Arathon in that way. Anyway, enemy sorceress, without a golden shield, will get quickly, very quickly, brought down by our range fire. And it looks like as she has shattered, or as she has been killed, so has the rest of her army shattered. We're going to chase the enemy down now, of course, because the enemy will, of course, well, get away. And, oh, there he goes. I lost track of the enemy master who got killed by this eagle in particular. Good job, buddy. You get pets. Anyway, enemy army shatters. A battle is ours. We'll chase them down so that we hopefully, well, there's no guarantee that we'll be able to chase them down post-battle, so we will try to make it happen there. Alright, very, very nice. I don't really care for the Scroll of Leeching, but I believe we have another blue type of item of this type, which means we should be able to combine them. Lillian's army is pretty much destroyed, and ours is more or less fine, so we are free to take the ransom captives, despite, let's say, the relatively dangerous position that we find ourselves in. Can we chase Lillian down and destroy her stack? We can. Huh. If we hadn't pieced out with these guys, we could destroy this little army as well, but oh well. Enemy killed in battle, there's that Scroll of Leeching, and you know what, while we're here, Vortex Shard. It's for 30 seconds with 100 duration. I mean, these things would be decent possibly against Morathi, but I hope that we can get something better. Fuse into a Talisman of Preservation. Definitely better, because we can just, you know, if we have a strong enough lord, just kill Morathi outright. Ooh, you have your dedication as well as your rally ability. Now, is there anything for your relatively basic army that would help in terms of dedication? I do like the post-battle loot out of the dedication to Kurnus, though the White Lions will have their own army. Upkeep reduction for spears, rangers, and archery units, plus casualty or punishment rate. You know what? For a basic army and the early game, this is pretty solid. We'll go with dedication to Isha, and I don't believe there's anything that will buff our... also need that Lothern Seaguard army, but there's anything that we can use to buff our eagles in this army, because this army is going to have a bunch of eagles. Yeah, fine. Dedication to Isha it is. And we'll replace the spears, presumably later on, with Silveran Guard, which aren't actually all that much more expensive, but are significantly stronger. But anyway, Nonus, or Lillian's army's remains, will now die here. And we'll see if Morathi reacts to this. Please don't kill off a bunch of our units. A Lichbone Pennant, yes. Very, very nice find. And considering it's not a lot of money, we'll heal up to full. Alright, Arathon, continuing to do work for us. Very much so. Start moving back this way. We might even take Arnheim. Huh? Can't move? Yeah, Lichbone. Hello. Okay. I guess this little army was blocking us here. We'll see if Morathi decides to ignore Tyrion starting to head down here. We could also ignore Arnheim. Maybe sack the Moon Shard. It sounds like we can hold the cold territories here. It's a little bit too bad that the... Oh, no. We might have to kill these Wood Elves. You have to have Vol's Anvil at any cost. Upkeep reduction 8% faction-wide. It's one of the best buildings in the entire game. And we can't let them have it. We can't let them have it. Perhaps they'd be willing to trade it to us, but if they're not, well, then the Azerite will have to pay the price. I mean, maybe we can sort of trade a bunch of stuff from here to there? I don't know. It's concerning. It's very concerning, considering we wanted some of their units. Anyway, I wanted to see whether Imrik could immediately teleport from the sea. I don't know whether he can. He can. Alright, now the dangerous aspect of this will be the fact that we might get heavily damaged and won't be able to heal up, and, well, I guess we'll have to heal up a Dragon Fang mount, because a dragon battle lies before us, and I'm disinclined to ignore it. Noble, let's get you on the field. Anything that we want early game? I would kind of like to get favored by Isha as fast as possible for the additional money we would be making. Renowned, intimidating, just double checking what else kind of stuff we've got here. Esteemed combatant is only for one defending, which makes it not particularly useful. Yeah, I think we're gonna move towards favored by Isha. The road towards it is kind of meh, but we can get the melee defense +6 and leadership or, I guess, logistics. This doesn't lock anything, does it? No, it doesn't appear to do so. Alright, teleportation time. Let's see if we can handle another dragon. Gordinar, Champion of the Flame. We have to prove our mastery of fire. I mean, Michaela's looking at us here. Well, let's not anger her, unless she burn our own army to cinders. And, Gordinar being another sun dragon. We could actually pop him into this army early. Kind of works with the whole theme that we got going on right now. And then eventually transfer him and Michaela to their own fire army. Kind of similar to this one with Phoenixes and fire and maybe some Tomb Kings units? Who knows? Who knows? Away we go.
Rain death!
Alrighty, here we go, Dragon Battle 2. Gordinar, Champion of the Flame, fire to follow the ice of Lamoureux. We're going to start the battle as usual with an attempt at a Dragon Breath from Eneathir, but it looks like Lamoureux will move in with Phoenixes in tow to attempt to fight Imrik. Now Lamoureux itself has a fire resistance of only 20, which isn't so bad. At the very least for Imrik fighting him. The Phoenixes, however, have... Wait, let me just click. The Flamespire Phoenix, in particular, have 100% fire resistance. A lot of our units, like our Fireborn, anything that does fire damage, really, isn't really going to be able to harm those Phoenixes at all, so we'll need to be dealing with them with physical damage, and damn are there a lot of Phoenixes. 2 fire and 2 arcane as well. Over in the background, our Sun Dragon, our newly named Sun Dragon Solaire, will get a nice fire breath down on one of the units of Tomb Garden, pretty much destroy the unit with his attack, while Imrik attempts to continue chasing Gordinar around. The Phoenixes will claw at Gordinar's wings and... or Gordinar... Meneathnir's wings and tail, but Imrik has the enemy in his sights and will continue in this. It's going to take him a while to break through that massive amount of HP, however, so we'll turn our sights elsewhere. Phoenix will bombard our spear line a little bit before heading down into our archers. Smart move, I think. Pretty decent use of it, though unfortunately the Phoenix stayed in the air a little bit too long and has taken quite a bit of damage to that physical range fire. There we go. Now we just gotta prevent it from escaping. The Fireborn won't do any damage to it, or very little damage to it, because of that 100% spell resistance, and damn, regeneration will activate. But the Fireborn are here mostly to keep the Phoenix locked in place until it shatters. Don't really want these guys coming back. Looks like Gordinar over in the background is down to about 30% of his HP, while Imrik's at about 70%. And Solaire was fighting an enemy Arcane Phoenix for a little bit, who also have fire resistance at 75%. Arcane Vortex coming down from the Arcane Phoenix to probably heavily damage one of our units of spears, but it'll give us a few more seconds of firing arrows into the thing. And it looks like Imrik with about half HP remaining, a little bit over half HP, still under attack by Gordinar and the two Phoenixes, and periodically getting shot by the shotgun-like blasts of the Sepulchral Stalkers, will nonetheless be able to bring the Great Drake down. And Michaela's helping out a little bit with a nice burning head, and hey, you were supposed to fall on cue, Gordinar, come on, man. Why you gotta ruin this for me? And oh, he has a regeneration ability, the same thing that the Hellpit Abominations have, and these, well, I guess what the Phoenixes have. I don't know why my mind went to Hellpit Abomination. He has the same rebirth ability as Phoenix, down in HP and then back up to 25%. Alright, well, once again, it'll take a little bit of time for Imrik to deal with that, so let's get back to the main line. Ushabti are attempting to chase Michaela down, but are taking arrow after arrow to the sides and back. As they do so, they'll be melting away rather shortly. Out here, as Solaire has cornered the enemy Arcane Phoenix, and the regular units of Dragon Princes have surrounded as well, dishing out physical damage rather than fire, and forcing it to shatter. Once again, can't wait till we have Phoenixes of our own. And at last, Imrik has brought the enemy Drake down. I guess we didn't see it fall this time around, but honestly not too big of a deal. Well, we've seen many of them fall, and if you're wondering why Imrik is just hovering there, he's activated the Armor of Caledor so he can't move, as he really needs that HP. Coming back up, and ooh, looks like the enemy Hyro Titan uses the Shem's Burning Gaze on Michaela. Gotta watch out for that. What's her spell resistance at? It's only at 20%, so that explains why she's taking a bit of damage from that. Probably a good choice to target her rather than Imrik, who could probably out-heal that over time. Anyway, though Gordinar has fallen, and though 2 out of the 4 Phoenixes are no longer in the game, the enemy army still continues to approach. There is still a few ringers left, the Hyro Titan, the Tomb Scorpion, the Cambrian War Sphinx, and of course, the other 2 Phoenixes to take care of. We should, in theory, be able to riddle the War Sphinx with arrows. Just gotta be careful about allowing it to run rampant and destroy our spear lines, and probably want to back away our Dragon Princes as well, as there's no real need to get them damaged or have them lose models to the War Sphinx when we can kill it with arrow fire. It's too big of a target, and its animations, while it does have sort of pouncing, jumping animations that kind of break its movements up, it's not to the same degree as the Tomb Scorpion, which is very hard to pin down with arrows. Anyway, out here the other Phoenix has arrived, the other Arcane Phoenix has arrived, dropping or attempting to drop the Arcane Vortex, but kind of failing, as these spears just managed to move away. We had to touch down Imrik so that the Phoenixes didn't stay in the air as well. And it looks like these two will be fighting each other off, though I think at this point it might actually be beneficial to hold back a teensy bit in terms of destroying the army. There's another Shem's Burning Gaze coming in, and ooh, targeting Michaela yet again, dropping her below half HP. Gotta watch out for that. I don't remember whether she's reached immortality yet, so yeah, definitely have to be careful there. Anyway, as I was saying, ooh, I like the color scheme of this particular Tomb King army. Blends in very nicely with all of the sand and stuff. Kind of a camouflaged army, though camouflage is the color of fear. Anyway, down goes the Cambrian War Sphinx under sustained fire. At last, looks like a Spirit Leech coming down on the Scales of War from the Hyro Titan. Alright, rude, but whatever. Anyway, as I was saying before, I interrupted myself like 6 times. Ooh, down goes the Arcane Phoenix 7 times. If we take a little bit longer to destroy the remnants of this army, we should in theory be able to activate the Armor of Caledor yet again. Imrik's been taken quite a beating throughout this particular fight, mostly due to having to fight enemies with ludicrous amounts of fire resistance, and thus could probably use that additional heal. Alright, now the Hyro Titan is very, 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 very slowly advancing towards us, but far too slow to be a threat. It's used its Spirit Leeches, it's used its Shem's Burning Gaze, and the arrows will finally tell to bring the thing down. Still one of, if not the coolest looking units in the game. I always think that it's between the Hyro Titan and the Necrofex Colossus. They're just such awesome looking units. But the I don't know, we have the awesome reloading and point blank firing animations from the Necrofex Colossus, but the Hyro Titan has the laser eyes. Aesthetics are on point for both. Although I'm a little biased towards undead in general, but anyway, looks like the enemy army is beginning to melt. I do believe the chain route is here, the Tomb Scorpion having taken tons of damage from Menaethnir / Imrik. And come on, death animation please, and down it goes. Alrighty, with that, it's just a matter of allowing the enemy to melt away. There's also that unit of Sepulchral Stalkers who are in it against the Fireborn right now. Those Sepulchral Stalkers are anti-large with those big ol' halberds. And so are certainly able to bring at least a few of the Dragon Princes down. There we go, we can see a few of the corpses there. And we've peeled the Dragon Princes away, in part so that they lose no additional units, but also in part to allow Imrik a few extra seconds to heal himself up. Starlance is active, and we should be able to get that Armor of Caledor up and running, at least for a few seconds. There it goes. Let's see how quickly it heals. It is a huge amount of healing, so it does work a little bit faster than certain other types of regeneration. Alright, down go the last of the Stalkers. We'll be seeing you guys soon in the Katep campaign upcoming. And I do believe with that, the battle is ours. A second legendary dragon added to our roster now. I think there's a decent likelihood we'll probably put them both into Imrik's army for a little while, mostly because he can reduce their upkeep significantly. But over time, as we get our economy stronger and stronger, we'll basically peel each dragon off individually into their own sort of stack. And like somebody suggested in the comments, what we can do is the lords that lead the armies with the legendary dragon will be the dragon heralds. I mean, we met a herald after all, so the dragons should have a herald in every one of their armies in our team as well. Ooh, alright, a pretty tough battle. Specifically, the fire resistance on the Phoenixes made it a lot tougher for Imrik than, funnily enough, the actual enemy dragon, who didn't do all that much damage due to fighting Imrik. But those darn Phoenixes with their 100% physical or fire resistance, rather, really were quite the issue. Surprisingly, we don't get a crazy amount of money as a reward for this, but, well, our money's looking okay right now. So, yeah, we'll ransom the captives either way, and it looks like we're still in decent enough shape, at least, to be able to push on towards Dragon Fang Mount. We will march stances close to it as possible, so we can ensure that we can land next turn. Oh, wait. Wait, we heal in the Sea of Dread. Do we heal in the Sea of Storms, is the question. No, we don't. Alright, so that means we want to sit right here. And I'm hoping that we can still land here in a single turn. It looks like we should be able to. Is this closer or is this further? I have no... Whoa, this is attrition. No, wait. Back away. Imrik, relax. Nobody panic. Go here? Yes, there we go. We can heal and hopefully we can land. Now, immunity to desert attrition is fine. The passability rage is fine. Is it better than the Vambraces of defense? I don't think so, at least not for Imrik, but we can certainly put that on another lord. All the best stuff doesn't necessarily have to go to Imrik. He gets perfect vigor and more speed, lovely, though the perfect vigor isn't particularly useful due to the fact that we can easily acquire it via other means. Great Eagle for Fyron. Do we want you on a Great Eagle or an Ithilmar Chariot? And then there's that Gordinar's Fury, which is nice as well. Though we can't get Gordinar in the army right now, we probably wouldn't want to. Oh! That's another option for temporarily summoning the other dragons at the Gates of Jar. Granted, we'll probably have to go negative in order to support them while we make our way back down to Imrik, but damn those Beastmen armies. But anyway, this is all fine for now. Let's see how much money we have. To spend, I mean. Okay, so the Sentinels, this has to be prioritized, the Sculptor's Workshop. How much money would it cost to actually get these guys on the field? Ooh, quite a lot. These guys, not so much. Well, that's going to be an interesting question. Either way, though, I don't think, well, it is an interesting question. We will have the time to fight it this particular episode, because we're more or less at this point out of time. We will, I guess, start the next episode off with attempting to fight Da Bloodhorn and probably spending our money on summoning those dragons in order to hold them off. Maybe one dragon, I don't know. Then we will continue doing what we're doing with Arathond here. Once again, we still need to get him some eagles, but he's been doing pretty okay, and we'll probably get him to Moonshard and stuff and just start annoying the Cult of Pleasure. I suppose, once again, the issue with this is making them too weak will make the other elves strong, which will make it less likely we'll be able to confederate them. I mean, I suppose what we could do is we could do some damage to them and then peace out with them. And once again, Val's Anvil, we have to have it. We absolutely, at any cost, have to have it.
Greetings.
And thus there's a decent likelihood we have to either attempt to take it by force or to try to trade stuff to these guys for it. Anyway, that'll all be a question for next time, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.